Low Buck, Jethro B34 here. I'm going to go ahead and do an entry into your contest for the stove. Usually don't do them, but I've cooked on something like that before and I think they're pretty cool. Like to have it. So let's get her in there. Man, I bet it's been a good 2 or 3 days since I had something to eat. The old lady ran off, the used car salesman, took all my money, left me away from home. I'm starving. Good thing I got my trusty pellet rifle. Hey, there's a buffalo. First shot. Man, I'm glad I shot that meat. Turned out to be a small hog. It looked like a buffalo, I swear. But I ain't honed my skills for a while, but I seen this on Tom and Jerry once, so I'm pretty sure it'll work. They say rub sticks together and make a fire. Oh, there's smoke. Hold on. That was easier than I thought. Yeah, there, I told you, they was hot sticks. Got me some of that dry corn stuff out there in that field. Rubbed them sticks together and they got so hot once I set them on there, it just caught right on fire. Man, that's awesome. Now I have to show you how to clean the meat. So after I got done butchering that hog, I went ahead and put it in a tray just so, you know, it looked really nice. And what I want to do here today, on a basic type of meal, rustic cooking, is a hobo dinner. Pretty much aluminum foil. First of all, good fire burning down the coals. We got some pork loin here, cabbage out of the garden, squash out of the garden, potato. I didn't want to thaw out none of my corn because I got it in big bags, so I just got a can of corn. One of my favorite seasonings. Walmart carries it. If you try it, it's got the right balance of about everything you want. And pretty much what I'm going to do is make me a big old meal, seal it up in aluminum foil. When them coals get burnt down, we're going to spread them out and we're going to cook it right on the fire. So I'm going to get this ready and back in a minute. First thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and throw that cabbage down on the bottom. Now normally I'd use leaf cabbage or a big old head of cabbage and just tear leaves off. This is going to do two things. Number one, it's going to be great flavor because once it hits them coals, it's going to char. It keeps your meat from burning, but that char flavor, it totally changes the taste of cabbage. And I want to use my everyday carry to cut everything up with, and y'all don't laugh too hard. I've got well over 100 knives, and what I carry every day is a good old case pocket knife, and she's got many miles on her. I do like carbon steel. It sharpens. Most of the time this thing will shave a sleeping baby mouse and never wake it. So we're going to go ahead and cut up our veggies, slide them on top, a little bit more seasoning on top, and wrap her up and get her to the fire. On top of using primitive things, several of you know what it is, some of you don't. I've had these for many a year. Dad, when he went to the Guards, after being full-time military, went to the Guards, he brought home, they switched over to the MREs from the C rations, and he brought home several cases of it, and I still got a bunch of these laying around, and I actually use it on occasion. So ain't that just as handy as a button on a shirt? Take you a little bit of juice from your corn, just a wee bit. It's going to run a little bit everywhere, but that's going to help give it a little bit of moisture and steam before that cabbage starts caramelizing and burning. And just a dib of the corn across the top of that. Next step is, stay on there, baby. Let's give her a last shot of seasoning. Be liberal. We do these on Boy Scout campouts. We do them here at the house every once in a while. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. If you want to, just for a little extra added protection, if you're cooking on top of some rocks and the coals or anything like that, you don't want to punch through. This is extra heavy duty foil. Just give it a double wrap. Neat thing about that is it works. It doesn't matter what you're using, beef, chicken, pork. One of my favorite things doing this is fish. Cook fish on the open fire inside the aluminum foil packets. It's just a neat little handy meal. You know, when you got 8-10 people coming over, you can fix up 8-10 packets, or you can set everything out. Everybody can put what ingredients they want in there, wrap them up. You can take a Sharpie, write their name on top of it. It does stay on there. We do that for the scouts all the time. And let them cook their own meal. When it comes off, throw it in the middle of a big old plate. They rip the foil open. There she is. Okay guys, next step. It's pretty good if you got some decent sized river rock to use the river rock. I mean, it'll make you a place around where you're not cooking direct heat, but you're cooking kind of on each side. Set your stuff on a rock, but what I want to do is just scatter this to each side. I'm going to lay aluminum right up there. I'm going to make sure that I ain't got too much heat just right under it, but more or less kind of baking from the sides. And that's probably going to take about, as much as I got in there, probably about 35-40 minutes. That pork was pretty thin, so we'll be back here in a bit. Alright guys, should be about 35 minutes or so. Coals are dying down. We'll give it just a little bit more cooking time. I'm going to go ahead and push what's left of the coals right underneath it. I don't smell that cabbage burning yet, so, and really, you almost want to smell it, not real fast, but before you take it off, if you get a little smell of a cabbage burning, then I guaranteed she's done. I'm going to go ahead and cut a vent steam, or vent hole, steam hole, right here on top. Yeah, taters starting to get soft. Caught a glimpse of the pork. It still needs a little bit more, so back in a few. Alright, Low Buck, that was supposed to have been my entry into your contest. We had a small problem. I was canning food as well as had a neighbor stop by. I left everything out there on the fire. It went out. Everything was cooked. It had plenty of time to cook, and my dogs got wind of it. And when I finally remembered it in the evening, I went out there to check on it, and the aluminum foil was trashed all over the place around it. So my dogs had a good meal. But we do that kind of stuff all the time, real basic, real simple. Enjoy the outdoor cooking. And I'm into any cooking device. I just love using stuff, and I love anything to do with the outdoors. So if this ain't good enough, send me a PM. I'll try to get time in the next week to put up another one, because I actually done that like 3 or 4 days ago, and here recently we had to take in 2 of my grandkids. A lot of stuff going on in the family, so now instead of having just a 16 and a 17-year-old at home, I've also got a 2 and a 4-year-old. Could be for the next 2 weeks, it could be for the next year, we don't know yet. But anyhow, no worries there. This is going to be my response to you, and thanks a lot, man.